got a question around extra funding for seniors. And as I mentioned earlier, the NDP brought forward a motion that passed unanimously that compels the government without delay to provide additional supports for seniors. The top up to the CPP would help in higher costs associated with the pandemic. I certainly agree with that. And this is the kind of thing that we're currently pushing the government to do. So our seniors critic, Scott Duval, who's the MP for Hamilton Mountain, has been pushing the seniors minister to put in place the follow-up to what was adopted by Parliament. So Parliament has obliged the government to act quickly on providing additional supports for seniors. We do not know what that will look like yet, but I will certainly keep folks up to date because that's a very, very important issue. Deepak asks, what are we doing for youth? And as far as youth is concerned, we pushed in a previous motion that also passed unanimously, the government to bring in without delay support for students. The student benefit, which was adopted last week, is the result of that. And that provides $2,000 a month for students with disabilities or with children, and $1,250 per month for students who do not have children or do not have a disability. So all of that, again, from hard push. That's the only way things get done, is by pushing hard. And we've, with Jagmeet Singh as our leader, we've been able to do that. We've got a question for you, from Janet, Jonathan. And so Janet asks, so there's a possibility that we might be able to host small public events of 50 people and under in parks this summer. Is that a possibility? Small public events, 50 and under. Is that something that you'd be looking to the province to do? What are your thoughts on that, Jonathan?
Yeah, so I think the city's position through this entire crisis has been to really say, how do we best interpret and follow the directives that are coming from the public health officer and the provincial government. They really are the lead and a guiding force on this there. So I think the signals we've been getting is that large events in the city, and we are heading into our summer season with so many great festivals. The reality is it seems very unlikely that any of those events are going to be able to be held this summer. We're awaiting word to get more clarity about what size of events can be permitted there, and ultimately, I think the city is just going to look to what is the direction from the public health officer, and then try and ensure that that's properly implemented and that the public is aware and properly educated about those words there. But we're really going to lean and look to the public health officer to make those kind of calls.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. And Janet continues by saying the local arts community needs your support. Buy local, support local. I think that's something that we both agree with 100%. I have Julia, who's asked the question. These are good programs that are offering important financial assistance, but how are we going to pay for it after COVID-19 comes out? And this is a very important question. Federally, as many of you are aware, we spend over $26 billion a year in overseas tax havens. That's money that should be used in common to support seniors, support students, support community businesses, support families, to provide for healthcare, all of those things. The luxury of having $26 billion a year in federal tax revenue go to offshore tax havens, I think, is something that if we ever could afford it, we certainly can't afford now. So what we need to do is start to rejig our priorities. And as far as I'm concerned at the federal level, what we will be doing is making sure that we're not wasting money on overseas tax havens or big handouts to the banking sector, but rather investing in people, investing in communities, making sure that cities are being taken care of, transit is being taken care of, that seniors and students and people with families are being supported, that we're not leaving anybody behind.